Hi and welcome back to the channel. We are still in Florida. We are still in KCOI, Kilo Charlie Oscar India, Merritt Island Municipal Airport. And we are still in the Cessna 182 Skyline. I think at this point it's going to be a very short flight, but I am wanting to take us over inland to, once again, one of the freeware airports offered by Orbex, Winter Haven Municipal Airport. From there, I think the next leg will go down to over this big Lake Okeechobee, and from there on, I think we'll head on down to Miami and Key West before we work our way back up through to Tampa. Since our last leg, there we have had a couple of passengers leave us after that horrendous landing. So it's just me and my wife in the front seat of this plane now. I guess she still somewhat trusts me, even though that was a very, very dangerous landing. I haven't refueled the plane, but it was almost full of fuel last time. We still have plenty of fuel in the plane, but it should make for somewhat lighter flying. The weather, like there's no SIGMETs from on SkyVector. Well, there is one down here, but hopefully we'll be able to get in before that happens. It's only 60 miles. It's a fairly short hop, but there's no point to waiting, I guess, and we'll just get started here in our A2A Skyline. Okay, so I guess the fuel pump was on. Let's run the fuel pump and look for some fuel flow. Everything's okay. Like I said earlier, just to remind new viewers here, one reason why I was so keen to get back on, I just recorded this almost right after I landed, but one thing I really want to see is how these tires happen. I mean, I had a terrible landing in my last episode, and I'm expecting these tires to blow, and I'm kind of really excited to see how prepared and how A2A handle broken tires. So I'm not going to fix it, even though I know they're broken. I'm more interested in seeing them fail than I am in seeing them hold on. But anyway, so we have positive fuel flow. Aircraft is ready to go, so let's just try and get the engine started. There we go. Start. Turn on the avionics. We are from the KGIF, Kilo Golf India Foxtrot.
TOS system test.
Kilo Golf India Foxtrot. That is a 260. So turn the CDI to 260, the course indicator. Let's get the weather. It's been lagging at times, my GTN. I have no idea what's going on. But it's like, come on, change the frequency. There we go.
Kilo Charlie Oscar India. Airport information Delta 2134 Zulu. Weather wind 078 at 9, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 30, dew point 25, altimeter 2992. Advice on initial contact. You have information Delta Kilo Charlie Oscar India. Airport information Delta 2134 Zulu. Weather wind 078 at 9, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 30, dew point 25, altimeter 2992. Advice on initial contact. You have information Delta Kilo Charlie Oscar India. Airport information Delta 2134 Zulu. Weather wind 078 at 9, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 30, dew point.
Okay, not bad. So quite a lot of wind, like 9 knot wind actually. Let's see, I don't remember what the airports, the runways here were. When we landed, we had no wind, but I guess now we have a wind running in from roughly 80 degrees, so it'll be runway will be taken off runway 11, more or less to our side here. So that should be a fairly short taxi. Okay.
Merritt Island traffic, Cessna, November 905 Charlie Sierra, taxi to runway 11, Merritt Island.
Okay. So that's it. Altimeter set. We have fuel, beacon light on, the taxi light on. We have the route programmed. It's very simple, straight route this time. There's an airspace en route that we have to watch out for, but we should be able to do that, I think. We'll take 1 notch of flaps here, and as we'll come up to this this taxiway, we'll turn off. We'll do a quick run up. Watch for the drops. Watch for the manful to RPMs to rise again. Do 3 quick cycles of the prop. Can turn on the landing light, turn off the beacon, turn on the fuel pump, turn on our nav and strobes, and let's announce our takeoff.
November 905 Charlie Sierra, taking off runway 11, departure to the west, Merritt
No
Island.
aircraft visible out the window, no one coming in, so just line up with the runway here. We'll get this party started. Plugging in the headphones. Okay, this time I'll try and remember everything I should do after I take off instead of just starting to yap. I can already feel the wind here. It's trying to push me about a little bit. I'm using quite a bit of rudder. I find I use quite a bit of forward trim on the Cessnas when I take on the takeoff roll to stop them from lifting off prematurely. I feel like I usually get more lift in one wing than the other, and sometimes you feel one wing stalling as the other one wants to take off. So one way of, I guess, combating that a little bit is to just make sure that you have enough speed to get lift on both wings. It's a bit of a scary thing when it happens, but you know, it's not impossible to fix. Easier to take off this time than it was with 4 passengers and too heavy a load. So let's climb to about 1,000 feet, and then we'll do our left turn. It's a good rate of a good climb speed, 90 knots in the skyline. Okay, and that's it, and we'll engage our turn. Make sure that we don't stop climbing just because we're turning. Trying to fly kind of a traffic pattern here, do a 90-degree turn. I'll do another 90-degree turn once we sort of get across over this road, the causeway. Careful with the speed, monitor the speeds. A little slow. It's Cape Canaveral there that we can kind of see, still see those buildings way in the distance there, right off the nose of the plane. That's where they launch the rockets. NASA launches its rockets. Okay, and we'll do another left turn. I think for this flight we won't climb too high, maybe 3,000 feet. At least that's my first thought. I haven't really planned out through it yet. I know there's some restrictions that we have to worry about, so I'll figure that out as soon as I'm turning here. And my Kenny Powers Skylane. Okay, cool. I guess that's somewhat on tour track. So here's the airspace I was talking about. So here's one from 6,000, there's one from 3,000. So I guess if we stay below 3,000, we won't enter into any airspace. So that is that then. I guess we're now at 2,800 feet, and I think we'll bring it back down to actually 2,500. I'll put the manifold pressure in the green. 23 inches of manifold pressure. Lean the mixture just a little bit, maybe 80%. We're not really that high. And landing lights can come off, and the fuel pump can come off. And I already took the taxi light, put the taxi light off. And we'll take the props, and bring it down to around 80%. So we cleared the airfield here. I think we'll head a little left. We'll try and intercept our GPS course. Let's see, let's tune this to, it's 24 degrees outside, and we're at an altitude of 3,000 feet, so we'll put the 3 or 4 roughly here, under the 30 to somewhere in between here. That's kind of our, should give us our indicated airspeed. So our indicated airspeed is 129, our true airspeed should be somewhere around 142. We have a 2-knot headwind. Yeah, 135. Close enough. Close enough. I guess there's a way to get that perfect, but it's a little hard to line up here. 24, which would be almost over there. Maybe it should be a bit more like this. It's still kind of off. Actually, ground speed of 138. It's 150, it's 145. Yeah, I don't quite understand the true versus indicated airspeed. I know it has something to do with air pressure and temperature. Looks pretty good. I like this next doing the weather as usual. No, XTX guide 16, I mean. About to intercept the GPS course here. I think I will do that as we head on in towards the center of Florida, Orlando. In my previous episode I complained about the scenery being a bit dull and boring. Samey. I think it'll be interesting to see the center of the state. I have a feeling it's going to give us more of the same. Which is okay. I think this kind of scenery is the biggest weakness of flight sim. It's bad at big scenery, flat scenery. It sort of doesn't impress in the same ways that mountainous scenery does. I know about the airspace. You can see that's really cool. You can really see them following the real procedures as ultimate traffic. At least it seems like they're following the real procedures. It might be that these guys are going somewhere else completely, but that's when you see them definitely landing to the north there. At least that's what it looks like. Maybe totally wrong, but I love how Ultimate Traffic 2 follows real flight paths. Even though I don't think they follow SIDS and stars, but they do follow airways, which is half the point. I'm getting a bit tired. Oh well, this is kind of a quick flight to see how these puppies on the bottom of the plane hold up. I tried searching YouTube or even the internet for A2A tire failure, but it sort of came up blank. So my hope is that we will here have our first screencast tire failure. If not in this video, then in the next or the next. I think I'm gonna keep flying this Skyline until it happens. I'm very curious to see what the consequences are. I'm also curious about the what looks to be damage on this linkage here. I'm curious if that is a dynamic feature of the A2A aircraft, or if that is if that's just part of this repaint. It's just that the whole rest of the repaint is so spotless. It would be strange to me if that somehow is part of the repaint. I mean, look at this. This plane is a beauty. That's a beauty. Looks brand new. All over, really. Well, anyway, time to get in and do some navigating again. Well, more planes. The JetBlue flight? That's fun. I think we're definitely in the flight path, or close to the flight path. We do need to, I'll tune into our land approach, but I also need to lose some altitude. We are actually gonna soon enter airspace where we should not be. He looks like he's turning around too, which is cool. Okay, we're back under 3,000 feet. That's good. It's actually quite beautiful. It's nice to get away from that muddy coast.
Southwest 656, turn left heading 095, 927, turn right heading 275, turn right heading 275, 927, turn left heading 095, Southwest 656.
Bring the manifold pressure up to 23 inches again. Just be careful to trim for a faster cruise speed so we don't climb back up again.
Contact Orlando Tower on 1243 reduced speed to 180 knots.
I'm looking for the traffic and not being able to find it, but it's already right ahead of me. That's nice. It's turning right into the airport. It's kind of neat to see them come fly south and then turn around north for the landing. Yeah, they're landing on the northern runway. Runway 35. Yeah, I'm keeping south of my course because I want to stay out of that airspace in here, the 2000 airspace, which is this airspace. This one, 1600 actually to 10,000. This is more my jam, 3000. So this one I can deal with, the other one I cannot. Southwest 1738, Orlando approach, roger, altimeter 2993. Orlando approach, Southwest 57 with you, 8,800. Southwest 57, Orlando approach, roger, altimeter 2993. Southwest 656, your report is 12 miles at your 10 o'clock. Turn left heading 005, report runway in sight. Turn left heading 005, Southwest 656, Southwest 656, runway in sight. Southwest 656, you are 11 miles south of Orlando. Climb and maintain 2,100, clear visual, runway 36, left. I'm trying to trim myself back to 2,500 feet here.
Orlando approach, American 2901,
It's a little bit hard.
American 2901, Orlando approach, roger, altimeter 2992. Descend and maintain 2,100, clear visual, runway 36, left approach, tower on 11845, reduce speed to 180, at Southwest 656.
I have to say this looks pretty good. So I've tried my new streaming software. I'm using this what's it called, OBS stream software that can separately control the volumes of the voice recording and the game recording. Seems to be working pretty well, but I had some trouble just getting it edited properly. Just very heavy files, and Adobe Premiere seems to take forever to export it out, and all I want to do is basically trim the beginning and end of the video clip, because I can't seem to get the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, to work in a predictable way. There's no... All I wanted is like a little ding to tell me that, yeah, we've started recording, and boom, to tell me that the recording is stopped. But as it stands, I don't have that, so I have to switch over to the software to see whether or not it's recording, and it just doesn't look very good. So I need to trim the beginning and end of each video. But yeah, the software seems to be working pretty damn well. It's pretty light, almost as light as Shadow Play, and it just gives you that extra control over the voice that I think I need with this shitty microphone that I have. I find that it gives me the mixing, the proper mixer to mix together the voice and the sound from the game. So it's been working pretty well. Another thing that I wanted to mention is I've adjusted the shadows some of my sim. So you can tell down here, you can kind of see the trees now, even though the trees are in the shadow. In my first few episodes I was using this Ultimate Shader Realism pack, and I feel like the shadow, and I hate that how it glitches back and forth when you change your view, but yeah, the shadows were a little too dark. Like, all the trees ended up being black, which, sure, may be realistic, but it's a little... I mean, this still looks pretty damn realistic, especially considering that it's midday. It's not dusk. It's not midday. It's I guess it's 5, but still, still, it should be possible to see that the trees are green, not completely black. They should have some black in them, which they do, but they shouldn't be all completely black. I liked it. All I did was I adjusted shadow values to, I think, about 30% less than they were in the shader pack, and that seemed to do the trick. So there's a lot of traffic around this airport. That's really fun.
Orlando approach 1722, visit 2000, descending 1600. 1722, Orlando approach, roger, altimeter 2992. 1722.
We're about 10 minutes away from our destination.
Orlando departure, Southwest 6015 is climbing to 1000 for 8000. Southwest 6015, Orlando departure, roger, altimeter 2992.
Well, so a lot of runways.
1738, contact Hampton approach on 119er. Southwest 670, contact Jacksonville on 134.0. Southwest. Kilo, Golf, India, Foxtrot, automated weather observation.
Let's get the weather.
2148 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,600. Temperature 32 Celsius. Dew point 21 Celsius. Altimeter 2994. Kilo, Golf, India, Foxtrot, automated weather observation 2148 Zulu. Wind.
Okay, so calm winds. So we are currently coming in at around a bearing of 250. I think there was a runway there called like 23, wasn't there? 23. So I think we'll pick that one. Just keep it simple. Oh, 29. We'll do runway 29 or 23. Let's do 29, it's a shorter one. Just for fun. We'll do runway 29. see if it's already here. It should be not that far away. Winter Haven. 29.
Kilo Golf, India Foxtrot, traffic, Cessna, November, 905, Charlie Sierra is 19 miles east, 1,700, inbound to land, runway 29. Kilo Golf, India Foxtrot.
Miles out. No wind. Still looking for traffic out the windows because there was a lot of traffic. I can see there's one coming down towards me from up here somewhere, but he was really high, right? I think once we clear these two guys, we should be good for traffic. I'll tell you what though, if I was a real world pilot, I'd definitely want one of these units. It seems to tell you about all the things that are dangerous in the sky, and there's a lot of things that are dangerous. So I'm pretty impressed by that. So we're gonna intercept this one. I guess one thing we could do, we could try and use these it's a little bit dangerous, but there's a 654-foot tower ahead of us. I wonder if it's that tower right there, if that's this tower. Hard to tell. We'll try and... there should be a shorter one in the front. Maybe that's the shorter one in the front. Yeah, that's the shorter one in the front there, and that's the taller one back there. So we're gonna pass this one and turn before this one to a heading of 290. So I think in an earlier video I said, like, when I fly just plain VFR like this and just manually, I sometimes like to set the runway direction on my course needle, and I use my heading indicator, my heading bug, just to sort of indicate where the wind is. In this case it was calm, so no need for that. But still, it's nice to have the course needle. So what we'll do is, when we get close to this second tower here, we'll turn right to a heading of roughly 290, and hopefully before too long we'll see the runway, and we'll make our approach. I'm not sure whether or not there are pappies here, but we're gonna definitely go over these two lakes. This is one of them. Is that the second? So probably the runway's over there somewhere. So no need to start descending yet. Okay, so we're coming up on the second tower. Stutter, stutter, stutter. Man, that is so depressing when that happens. Just takes you right out of it. I think if there's a lot of things I could wish from Prepared, but if it's one thing that I'd want from sort of the current engine of Prepared, if you will, like not a new feature, it's some sort of dynamic setting where it would just lower some of the settings based on how much resources it was saying that it would have. I hate these stutters, the low things. I'd much rather you, I don't know, shorten my LOD distance for a while, or you know, do whatever you need to do to make it smoother for a little while. See, there's a lot of antennas here. So that's one thing I'd really want. Or turn off my car traffic or my plane traffic, like AI traffic. Maybe my number one most wanted feature is like better support for AI traffic. I want more planes in the air, and I want them to do more realistic things and talk to each other in better ways. But yeah, I would really like some sort of setting that would be dynamic, or that would be responsive to the scenery you're flying to. I think that's the thing, is like one thing is the computer you have, which is, it's not that hard to tune to your computer. The problem is that you constantly are flying to different scenery, and that is well, both annoying to have to plan ahead for that and tune your settings for what kind of scenery you're going to be flying to, but it's also sometimes you fly from one type of scenery to another type of scenery, so it's not that easy. Is that it? It's a pretty sparse looking freeware airport. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll actually start slowing down, so I'll just try and lower the throttle but not try and lose any altitude. Trim back, keep trimming back, keep trimming back. That gives a bit more power at this point. A bit more power. Not going to stall the aircraft on this landing, I'll tell you that much. That was embarrassing. Okay, fuel pump on, landing light on, and we can, I think, announce our final.
Foxtrot traffic, Cessna, November 995, Charlie Sierra is on final, runway 29.
Start our descent at this point.
Foxtrot.
One notch of flaps. Two notch of flaps. See, that's what got away from me last time. I got in the second notch of flaps too late, and I didn't compensate for the added drag by adding some power. Right now I'm actually pitching, I'm trimming forwards a little bit and adding some power because of the added drag to make it go down the hill at roughly 75 knots. So it'll be interesting to see if the tires hold, and if they don't, what that means. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. A little low. Just normal for me. Okay, we're now doing 70 knots. Cross the numbers. Slow it down. Much smoother. Not quite on the center line, but pretty good. Tires seem to be holding. Everything feels normal. It's a pretty smooth landing though. Fuel pump can come off, exit light can come on, landing light can come on. Turn on the beacon light and off with the nav and the strobe. Up and park by that yellow Piper. I have a soft spot for Piper Cubs, especially Super Cubs. Actually, even though they're in many ways less romantic than that Piper Cub. Okay. Okay, that's it. Welcome to Central Florida, I guess. And I forget the name of the place again. Winter Haven. Winter Haven, Central Florida. Not far from Orlando. Well, it was a pretty uneventful flight. I was hoping my tires would blow, but you know, maybe next time, guys. Maybe next time we'll see that disaster that I'm secretly waiting for. Until then, it was a pretty good flight. I'm happy with that landing. That was I was not quite on the center line, and I mean the wind was calm, so it should have been slightly better, but it could have been worse. Well, anyway, thanks for now, and if you like what you see, please subscribe, and you know, and I'll see you next time. See, this is after. Okay, bye bye.